Good morning, everyone. Welcome. It's Wednesday, the 17th of June. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are receiving your unemployment or your PUA. I hope you're staying safe. And the topic here today, rather bizarre. At some point, I guess this had to happen. A woman goes into labor. She goes into labor on the way to the hospital. So gets into the back seat. Driver has no idea, probably doesn't even know that she's pregnant, right? And then suddenly, I mean, wouldn't you get freaked out? Garcia Bui said, wouldn't you get freaked out if you suddenly find out during a trip, this woman is going into labor? Like, what on earth do I do now, right? My natural reaction would probably be, how far is the hospital? Get her there ASAP. Don't try and be a hero, right? Like, okay, well, I'm going to take over now. I'm going to be the nurse. If you're close to a hospital, get to a hospital. And that's what this driver did, right? Ran red lights, probably picked up a couple of tickets along the way, on the way to the hospital, right? But the story, Matt Killian, Florida in the house, Sudha Gandhi in the house. How are you? Welcome everyone. The story is rather bizarre because, after this whole incident happened, can you imagine, right? Your seats are literally soaked with bodily fluids. There's not vomit, there's not alcohol, there's not stuff that's spilled out on your seat. No, this is a child that was born in your back seat, right? Crazy. Born in your back seat. And you got blood and bodily fluids all over the show. Your natural reaction when everything calms down, when everything settles down, you know what, I got to open a ticket. I got to get the cleaning fees, probably get the whole seats replaced by Uber, right? You turn to the company or you try to turn to the company and you're not getting any cooperation, right? You try to turn to the hospital and get the lady's name to get paid back by this woman for the damage. And obviously the hospital is not going to release the medical information, is not going to good God. Exactly. San Diego, right, bro? Good God, we don't want this to happen in the back of our Escalade. I mean, we're not a ambulance. Are we an ambulance? Why didn't this chick call some ambulance or no? She had the time to call an Uber because she knew she was going into labor and she had to get to the hospital. So she literally used this Uber as like an ambulance. Crazy. Why don't you call up a friend? Don't your friends know at some point you're going to go into labor? Aren't there people there for you? No, she calls the Uber, hey, I'm not telling the person, hey, I'm going into labor. And then boom, happens right in your backseat. So the story is interesting how it unfolds, and it's pretty short. This is the dude here, right? He says, woman goes into labor and Uber driver left to replace seats on his own. Driver left to replace seats on his own. Geraldo's in the house. David Garcia's in the house. John J. DeGravio's in the house. Jay Morris is in the house. Francisco's in the house. Happened in Chicago. Guy's got 12,000 Uber rides. Impressive, right? His name's Jose Duran. He said 3 people have vomited, but no one has ever given birth in his backseat, right? You know the story. People vomit in your backseat, but has someone given birth in your backseat? That was until Sunday. Halfway through the ride, listen to this. This is how freaked out you would get, how I would get, right? Halfway through the ride, she started screaming, the lady. And I told her, you're freaking me out. Are you okay? So you have no idea. One person gets into your car. You probably can't even see she's pregnant, right? She's in the back. She starts screaming, are you okay? And she said, yes, yes, I'm fine. I'm fine. And then she started screaming again and she said, it's this baby. And I'm like, what baby? What baby? You can't see a baby? It's like, is this woman crazy? Is she making up stuff? It's this baby. What baby? Duran said he had no idea the woman was even pregnant. He recognized the address where he was headed as the University of Chicago Medical Center. But he had no idea she was going there because she was in labor. She didn't even forewarn him, right? She started screaming again and again, and it was coming out. The baby was coming out. I started freaking out. Not me, the driver. This is his story. I started freaking out because I'm on the Dan Ryan right before 47th, and what do I do? Right? After running several red lights and probably getting a ticket along the way, the ticket won't hold up, he finally made it to the emergency room, right? And he probably saved this woman and this kid's life, right? Once he was sure the baby and mom were okay, he reached out to Uber to see what to do next. They texted me and said to get the car detailed. Get the car detailed. I mean, you have bodily fluids, you have blood everywhere. Hey, get the car detailed. So the person that you're calling on customer service tells you, hey, go and get the car detailed. But when he tried to have it done, he was told they couldn't because of all the bodily fluids that seeped deep into the dark cloth seats. So he went there. Do you think that the people that the valet who want to do the cleaning, nah, we're not going to do this, dude. You have blood and shit all over the show. You know, your seats are done. We're not touching this. The detailed place tells me the seats have to be replaced, which is correct. But who's going to pay for it? Duran said he would have to pay a $1,000 deductible. So he is supposed to pay a $1,000 deductible for literally maybe saving a mother and the child, rushing them to hospital, going through red lights, and then on top of it, be penalized with a $1,000 deductible. And there's no guarantee the rest would have been covered. Does the lady have insurance to pay for this? It's one of the situations that no one ever thinks about. I wouldn't think about that. I don't think that you guys would think about this type of scenario playing out. Duran said he called Uber many times since this happened, couldn't get any answers. Late Monday, Uber issued a statement and said, we are now in contact with the driver and are in the process of working with him to provide support to cover the cost of cleaning this vehicle. Shine Telemundo in the house. Duran can't work until the car is cleaned. He estimates he's losing about $600 a day. So he told WGN News he couldn't reach the woman because she gave a fake name on the Uber app. Thank you. And the hospital won't release any information because of HIPAA laws. So they can't disclose. Now, here's the interesting part 2. Right, look at this headline. Look at this headline. At first, Chicago woman goes into labor, Uber driver left to replace seats on his own, right? He's supposed to take care of all of these costs. He then gets the media involved. Watch the thing change. Update. See the word there? Update. Uber says they will help the driver replace seats. So here's where I'm going with the story. Firstly, I doubt you and I would ever be put in the situation where a baby is born in our backseat. Has happened in airplanes, have never, ever heard of this happening in a Uber or Lyft car. Yes, people throwing up, people vomiting, sure, heard that story 100 times. But someone giving birth. So I told you the story. She gets in, he has no idea. He doesn't even know she's pregnant. She starts screaming. He gets freaked out. It's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? He's on the way to the hospital. He looks at the app. Looks a bit suspicious. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, I'm having a baby. Oh my God. Freaks out, right? Through the red lights, through the red lights, through the red lights. Gets her there. Tries to get his money back. Valet people, cleaning people won't touch the job. Obviously, blood, mess, go get new seats. Tries to go to Uber, gets no help. Now gets the media involved. WGN9 News, probably the smartest move. You know what? This is a crazy story. I got to get the news involved. At that moment, Uber does not want to be embarrassed. He just has to say, you know what? I'm supposed to pay $1,000 deductible. I rescued this woman and the baby. I went through the red lights and the company is not there for me. That's the true story, because the company is never there for you. But because he embarrassed them in the media, right? He's the hero, they the villain. He's the hero, they the villain. He exposes them through the media. He uses the story, great story. And now they say, this could be a big, big media problem for us. Remember a week ago, Uber never learns, destroys thousands and thousands of scooters and bikes, right? Media disaster after media disaster after media disaster after media disaster. Again, I'm looking there at my friend Thomas Gibson, San Diego Rideshare Pro. We are not AAA and we're not an ambulance, which is correct. But I ask you, Thomas, you see a woman, she just gets into the back of your car. You have no idea. She seems fine, nothing wrong. Suddenly she goes into labor, right? Then you have a big decision to make, Thomas. Am I going to act the ambulance and try and save these two and get her to the hospital quickly? Or am I going to throw her out and tell her that she needs to order another Uber, or that she needs to order an ambulance? Life or death. You could have lost the child right there. You have to make that decision in seconds. He made the right decision. So yes, Thomas is right. We are not AAA. We are not an ambulance. But in this case, you know, life over death. I think the person made, I definitely believe the person made the right decision, right? Tough call. Really, really tough call, right? But if somebody's like, I don't know, hey, I'm going, you know, I don't know, like fell off a bicycle, sprained the arm, I got to go to, you know, to the hospital. Hey, I'm not an ambulance, right? This here is a life-death situation. It really is. This is a matter of minutes. You know, rushed in, drive, boom. Hey, the woman's giving birth, bring her in, you know, take care of matters. And things happen very, very quickly. But it's interesting, moral of the story here, you never know what's coming your way, right? You never, ever know what's coming your way. Secondly, what do you do in crazy situations? Food for thought. Thirdly, try to get your money back from Uber. First round, no, sorry, we can't help you. Get the media involved. Get the social media involved. Anytime you guys have big, big issues, ladies and gentlemen, get the media involved. Is this TV material? Is this newsworthy? Is this a press release? Can I take this to Twitter? Can I take this to Facebook? Can I make a few YouTube videos out of the story and get Uber's attention? Absolutely you can, and you should, right? Las Vegas Uber driver says in Vegas, a lot of urgent cares use Uber and Lyft. True. San Diego Rideshare Pro Thomas Gibson says Uber should have paid for everything. They should have paid, exactly, they should have paid for everything right when they heard that story, right? But instead, they resisted. Oh, go and get it cleaned. No valet, you go into a valet. Oh, a woman just gave in the back. What's all this mess? This is not vomit. No, a woman just gave birth in the back of my car. Please clean it up. Nah, not going to touch that. We suggest you get new seats. Hey, Uber, they said I need to get new seats. Sorry, we're not paying for it. Okay, I'll get the media involved. Get the media involved. Okay, we don't want to be embarrassed here. We'll pay for it. Jeff Wagner says, I had 2 girls in labor already. Also, one guy having trouble, of course. They're going to use Uber. We are a lot cheaper than an ambulance. Sadly so. We are like a cheap ambulance. And I've made videos. I think I was one of the first people years and years ago to make videos about this, saying, you know, are we an ambulance? No, we're not. We're not an ambulance. But the problem is they see a $3,500 ambulance booking versus $10, $15 with an Uber to the hospital, which is cheaper, right? So we often unknowingly, we turn into the ambulance. Sad. Reggae Me says they do need an ambulance. True. They do need to call an ambulance. Shine Telemundo, did they lock him out of his account as usual? I don't think, maybe they did, but look, they were already embarrassed here because they've changed course. Firstly, they weren't backing him. Then he embarrasses them, then he backs them. You have to always take your story to the media or to social media, otherwise you're not going to get any love or action from Uber and Lyft, period. Thomas, nothing is mentioned about the driver getting deactivated. Maybe that'll come out later, right? But this is not grounds for deactivating. This guy should probably get like some hero award. And I truly, truly hope that somebody steps up, whether it's the lady or the husband of the lady who he literally saved this child. He got them there going through red lights. I hope they turn around or create a GoFundMe or whatever it is and say, listen, we'll either buy you a new car or we'll do something special for you. A holiday in Hawaii, coronavirus free, new seats, blah, 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 dinner for two. Spoil the guy. Spoil the guy. This guy deserves it, man. If anyone deserves it, this guy deserves it, right? Jose Duran deserves it. Uber, chicken shits. First they won't pay, then they get embarrassed, then they pay. James says, I get plenty of urgent care rides in Bakersfield. It's crazy. John J. DeGravis says, what a bullshit. The lady using a fake lying name. Yeah, fake lying name on the Uber app. That's effing unsafe for us drivers. Yeah, exactly. Guy can't even reach out to her because she has a fake name on the app. Come on, man. Who's a Go Donnie says, come on, man. As Go Donnie.com would say, come on, man. Made a video in the other channel, Dark Road Run. Made a funny video for me to lighten it up. What I love about DRR, Dark Road Run, please subscribe to him if you haven't. He always has the ability to go serious and funny and serious. But one thing is for sure, that his cinematic approach, the way he makes videos, the technology, the cameras, the lenses, the lighting, the guy's off the charts. No one even comes close. So please subscribe to Dark Road Run. As a side note, right? Thomas knows him. Cool guy. Should he sue the woman for not calling an ambulance? Interesting point. Interesting. If he would, I'm pretty sure he would win that. And if he does file, he should file against Uber and the passenger and the lady. Right? Because Uber truly put him in this situation. Hey, I'm not an ambulance, Uber, right? Hey, I'm not AAA, Uber. So why do you put me in this situation? This is a horrible situation to be put in. You have no idea. You are freaking out. What is going on? Woman is giving birth in the back of my car. What on earth is going on? Blood everywhere, bodily fluids everywhere. Hit the like, guys. I got 37. I think it's a cool story. I'm at least warning you if the scenario, preparing you if the scenario comes forward. I've got 12 likes. I've got 37 people in the house. I know we can pump this up to 20. Boom, 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 boom. Right all the way up to 20. I've got 38 people in the house and 13 likes. Hey, sharing a story with you, which could happen to you, right? Sharing a story with you and showing you what you need to do. You need to get social media. You need to get the news involved, because when you embarrass Uber, they pay up very, very quickly, right? That's how you get your money from Uber and Lyft. Sadly, you got to put in the hours. You got to put in the effort. You got to make the calls to WGN9 channel in Chicago. Hey, I got a great story for you. Hey, this woman gave birth in my back seat. Uber is not replacing my seats. Hey, what do I do? Hey, we'll send a reporter and a TV crew down to you right now. Meet you at the hospital for the story. Stay right there. Okay, guy waits. TV crew arrives. Boom, great story. Ladies and gentlemen, today you will not believe what happened. We have an Uber driver here. His name is Jose Duran. Jose Duran, the hero, drove through red lights, got this lady to the hospital so she could give birth to her child. He is a true hero on the streets of Chicago. However, when Jose Duran tried to get his money back, he called Uber repeatedly. They told him, hey, go get your seats cleaned. $1,000 deductible. Jose Duran wouldn't have anything. He would not give up at this point. He tried to get the name of the lady in the hospital. The hospital refused to give him the name. They would not disclose the name because of the laws. He then brought the story to WGN9. And suddenly, Uber responded and said, yeah, we will cover the seats. Great story. It's a great, great story. Baby was literally freaking halfway out. Halfway out. Woman screaming, ah, my baby. Like, what the WTF? Hold on, lady. Hold on, lady. Keep him inside. Keep him inside. Just hold on, lady. 30 more seconds. We're there. There's the hospital. Hey, get somebody immediately, ladies. Wow. What a story. Hit the like button, baby. Hit the like button, baby, if you like the story, baby. Hit the like button, baby, if you like the story, baby. So yeah, this would freak you out. This would freak me out. Scott, how are you? It's Moose in the house. We are truly ambulance drivers, medics, paramedics, doctors, nurses, psychiatrists, psychologists. I mean, I could think of 20 professions that we are. How's my special effects there? Hey, James, I just tried. Sometimes it just naturally comes out, right? Special effects, sound effects, whatever we want to call them. But for true sound effects, you want to go to the Dark Road Run channel, right? For true sound effects. And now, as Shine Telemundo correctly says, here's part 2 of the story. Listen. And now he couldn't make money after his trip. Now he's losing money. He says, hey, not many people driving in Chicago during the pandemic. I'm making up to $600 a day. You can easily show that, right? Easily show that, right? And now, because of this disaster, because he has the time wasted called, he's losing money. He is losing money. Who compensates him for the 2 or 3? He literally has to somehow buy brand new seats and get them installed. That doesn't just happen in a day. Maybe it happens like in 2 days. And you're $1,200 in the minus. Chris Reed says, howdy from hot as Hell, Tampa, Florida. Yeah, you're losing money. But the sad thing is, you know, the lengths, the hoops that we have to go through to get our money back. And the only way you get the money back is you completely embarrass them in the media. So learn from this. No, he's not getting his cleaning fee. They told him to go and get it cleaned. People refused to clean it. Obviously, it's a mess. And then, you know, they advise he gets new seats. The guy needs new seats, period. No questions. No questions asked. You need new seats, maybe new carpeting. Listen, this is a massive oil spill, right? This is like oil spill like the British Petroleum in the ocean, remember, off the off the shores of Florida, that big spill. It's the same thing. Disaster happens. It's not a disaster. It's a natural disaster, right? And it's not a disaster, really. A birth is a great thing. A new child is a beautiful thing. But she didn't forewarn the driver. She cut corners. She didn't get an ambulance. She didn't call a doctor. She didn't get her friends. No, what did she do? Anonymously, under a fake name, she orders an Uber driver. So, she's got to pay. And it's wrong. So I have a crazy busy Wednesday. I'm driving the Deputy Attorney General to a meeting. And I will bring up the topic of Uber and Lyft. I will bring up the topic of Trip and push and push and push again, because this guy works directly for Javier Becerra. So that gentleman I'll have in my car in 1 hour's time. 1.5 hours time. 10:30, I pick him up at 12. Los Angeles in the house, Visions by Anna in the house. Welcome you. Chris Reed says he will need a bioscene clean, such as the videos on here by Spalding Cleaning. Interesting. Jeff Lawson says, what name or address do I use to push the issue on a small claims against Uber for deactivation? I'm going to take the advice. Well, $14.55 Market Street, that's where you got to serve the papers, right? They have their legal department is on the 4th floor. I think if you look it up, it's office number 400 is the legal department, right? And they will get the documentation and you will get your date. And you'll pretty much get something like this, right? This one, on the court's own motion, the non-jury trial scheduled for 05:15 is advanced to 7:13 based on current conditions, including but not limited to the spread of COVID-19. This is the courts. The need for social distancing and a state of emergency have been declared by Governor Newsom. The court finds good cause to advance and continue the case. There it is. So that's the scenario you're going to be put in. Ensenada, Mexico in the house. We welcome you, R&R. Welcome. Hope you and your family are doing great, my friend. Jeff is in North Carolina. What city are they in? They're in San Francisco, dude. Do your homework. You have Google, right? Put in Uber HQ headquarters address. That's it. It's right there. Google.com, Uber headquarter address. Oh, Scott, celebrations. Get that champagne out. How much? EDIL. How much? How much? How much? How much? Chris Reed says, new seats won't solve the problem. All of the blood and fluids that went in between the seats and the carpet. You're welcome, Jeff. Good luck with that. Call me up if you need help. Text me, right? You can email me if you need help with that case. There it is. And to the couple of trolls that I found and exposed last week, I went to one of the trolls' house. I should say it quietly, not just myself. 4 other guys, 5 of us, because sometimes I take matters into my own hands. And I gave them a very, very strict warning. Say no more. I'll leave the story at that. The other individual in Atlanta that I researched, right? Problem is that people hide in the dark. I go after these individuals, especially when they make threats to my family or if they do stupid shit. I take the matters into my own hands. I'm not going to wait for someone months and months and months to take actions. I take the action. I'll spend the money to find out what's going on, right? So not everyone operates that way. I do, okay? And, say no more. But for the people that say or spread the rumors that we're just here talking crap, right? And then we are just wasting our time in these YouTube channels. No, we're not, right? Because the success stories, and when I say the success stories, he or she takes the case to small claims court in whatever city. I have heard hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of victories, my friends, hundreds. So the fact that we educate, tell people to, opt out of their legal contract, we guide people to small claims court, that we get a victory here 600, we get a victory here 8,000, we introduce people to class action attorneys and get victories. We're actually doing something, right? We're actually doing something. We're sharing information how to get the PUA. We've been sharing information and links how to get unemployment. We have been sharing links and information how to get EIDL, and we keep people afloat. And it's just a shame that the haters or the angry trolls cannot see the big picture, because they're stuck in that little bubble of hate and anger and upset and frustration. Their life is not evolving. Their life is spiraling downwards. And what people then tend to do is they lash out and blame and point and shout and say no more. We got to wash our hands and just get rid of these type of individuals. And I suggest to anyone that has a Facebook channel, anybody that has a YouTube channel, get rid of the haters. Block them, eliminate them. You don't need them in your life. And a reality check in real life is get rid of all the people that are parasitic, sucking your energy, pulling you down, trying to diminish your value. Get rid of them. Don't communicate with them. Don't call them. Don't text them. If need be, divorce them. Divorce them. Move on. You deserve so much more. That's what I do on a daily basis. Yes, win-win, win-win, win-win. I lose, you win. No, I'm not going to engage. You win, I lose, not going to engage. You lose, I lose, not going to engage. Win-win, yes. Win-win, yes. Go through your life like that, please, ladies and gentlemen. Scott says EDIL 25,000 is launching pad for. You got 25,000? Good. I am beyond happy for you. Beyond happy for you, because you deserve it. Mark Biss in London, SBA loan is in the bank and sizable. Beautiful. It's Moose says a lot of court proceedings are conducted on Zoom. That is true. That is true. That is true. Pete Arnold says Uber should provide drives with those flashing blue lights that undercover cops put out when they jump lights. When women start giving birth in our cars, we can take them to the hospital before. I understand. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the donation from Thomas Gibson, San Diego Rideshare Pro. Please go and subscribe to his channel. He's very generous, very giving, very kind man. I don't quite agree with Pete Arnold on that one, that Uber should be handing out those blue lights. That's just not our job. We're not ambulances. We're not police cars, right? So I don't want to drive through the streets pretending with a blue light that I am an ambulance because I'm put into a situation. We're not an ambulance, period. If we are put into the situation as this guy was, we have to make quick decisions and we should be rewarded for it, right? It's a life and death scenario. But for Uber to supply us with blue lights, well, that's basically then a green light for every rider to say, hey, they have blue lights. We're going to use them as an ambulance. We're going to use them as a whatever. You see where I'm going with that, Pete? Not to shoot your story down, not to yuck your yum, but I can't endorse that idea. Yeah, it's a good Thomas Gibson, San Diego Rideshare Pro says great information and story topic. It's basically, Thomas, isn't it like a reality check? He drives an Escalade in San Diego. I drive an Escalade in LA. Will we ever be put into a situation like that? God forbid, hopefully no. But if we do, how can we prepare ourselves? How can we get the monies back for new seats? What do we do? Do we take that last little stretch and go through 3 or 4 red lights and get them into the hospital? Do we dump them by the side and say, hey, this is your baby? No pun intended. But it's food for thought, right? And it is a good topic because this is reality. This is real life. Back to life. Back to the ambulance. Back to life. Back to reality. Can happen. Never ever say, no, that's not going to happen to me. No, it's not going to happen to me. Nope. I'm not going to get into a fight in a car. No, nobody's going to vomit in my car. No, I'm not going to be assaulted. No, I'm never going to have a gun pointed at me. It can happen to you. If it does happen to you, are you prepared? Are you ready? We are, as James says, we are not, or most of us aren't trained for ambulance service. 99.9% of us are not trained for ambulance service. We are not an ambulance service. Natural instinct took over. Oh, woman having child in my car. I cannot conduct the birth. I will not take that risk. I will get her to hospital in under 3 minutes. Life or death situation. What time do we have, ladies and gentlemen? We're 36 minutes into it. Another topic I want to do a live feed on, not in this because I don't want to, mix this story with the other, but this is something I really need to address later. It's a crazy story. And just by the way Uber and Lyft reacted to the story, I know that they're guilty or they're not trying to take responsibility. Researchers find racial discrimination in dynamic pricing algorithms used by Uber, Lyft, and others. Again, researchers find racial discrimination in dynamic pricing algorithms. This was 2 researchers conducted at George Washington University that broke down millions of trips from 2018 to 2020. In what city? In Chicago, in the same city that this baby was born, right? But this is a live feed for later. It's powerful stuff. It's real stuff, right? And that there is no equality in that game. There's discrimination. There's not equality in the story. There's discrimination, right? Based on how they create the algorithms. And let me just read to you how Uber and Lyft reacted for comment. Typical, not going to take responsibility. Typical lawyer answer. They had a lawyer answer that. And mark my words, based on this research, based on this data, there is another big lawsuit following. Right? But we'll break that down because the topic of racial discrimination is big right now. The topic of BLM, Black Lives Matter, is big right now. It's a topic that everyone's talking about. It's a topic that every company is adjusting to or making changes, right? Even that, what is it called? That Jemima syrup. They abandoned the entire line. They're not continuing that syrup because of its racial, connections. So things are happening, things are changing, rightfully so. And I think Uber and Lyft are in deep trouble if this data gets into legal hands, I'm telling you. And it's going to be an interesting feed and with a lot of interesting feedback, but not now. This story is for later. What we want to hear and conclude and finish, because I got to rock and roll. James Skidmore, he says, well, it's time for me to leave for private rides. Maybe the whole racial discrimination issue that I even brought it up for, maybe that's a little bit hot for some people. It's time to go. James, did that freak you out that I said that? Or do you really have to go and work? If you really have to go and work, go and make the money. I support you. Ed Steigelmeier in the house. We welcome you. Again, thanks to everyone today for your input. Thank you, Thomas, San Diego Rideshare Pro. Please subscribe to his channel. He got the little green guy. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Anyone that hasn't hit that like button, I ask you, please put in 40 minutes of my time here. The only thing I ask from you is that little like button. It looks like this. Smash and like it, because the more likes, the higher the algorithms, the better the YouTube algorithms, the more exposure the story gets, the more embarrassed Uber and Lyft get. It's coming in with a whole bunch of thumbs up, thumbs up. Thank you. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Please stay safe. If you haven't gotten your unemployment, if you haven't got your PUA, phone, send the letters, send the letters, send the letters. I need the money. I need the money yesterday. Salute, my friend Shine Telemundo. I appreciate you. Much love to you and your family, brother. Good to see you here. And I wish all of you an amazing, amazing day. I had a fantastic day yesterday with my kids. We went to Mondo's Beach. We surfed all day. I was out in the waves with my 44-inch bodyboard, boogie board, as some people, catching the waves, surfing in those waves. It was a beautiful, recharging day for me, for my family, much needed. Got a little bit burnt. I took the whole day off, just went surfing and boogie boarding. It was amazing. And the day before that, maybe you guys haven't seen this yet. Let me just stop this 1 feet. Thank you for participating there. But what I do want to share with you